All right then, so now all we have to do is to go ahead and start working on the sidebar. If you search for the sidebar, you can see this is exactly what we are going to design now, right? And that is what we are going to do now. So in order to do that, we already do have the sidebar in our cases, and you need to understand these variables, how they are styling on all those things. So don't worry about that, we will worry about this part later. And this is how these each and every components will work for that structure. You need to understand which component is for which particular purpose. So understand, try to go through this and try to understand what exactly the component used for, right? Then they give you the basic structure. Even if you simply copy and paste this code, you will get the basic structure, right? So let's see. All right, so first what I need to do is, all I have to do is to get into our dashboard, where it is this layout, this particular dashboard layout, because that is where we are displaying the overview pages and everything. So what I'm going to do is, let me enable the board wrap so you can see everything in a single screen. So here I'm just going to close this, close it. Then I'm just going to say sidebar provider, so which is coming from add components UI sidebar provider, right? Then inside the sidebar, I'm just going to say default. It needs to defaultly open. So for this, what I'm going to do is, so understand the concept here. So every time if you minimize that sidebar, and if you refresh the page, it should exactly the way as what it was in previous stage, right? If I minimized it, then I closed it, and again if I'm opening the same window, it needs to be minimized, which means it needs to be exactly in the previous state of the user, right? So it exactly needs to be maintained in the way how the user set in the previously, right? So that's for that particular purpose only we are going to use the cookies. So basically we are going to create ourselves a cookie store, and we are going to store the state of the sidebar in the cookie store. So once the browser closed, or if you're closed unfortunately and you're opening the same website again, it will be exactly in the same way how it was in previously, right? So in order to do that, I'm going to say const cookie store is equals to await cookies, from where, which is coming from, so please import it properly, it's coming from the next headers, right? Then I'm going to create myself an open state for the particular sidebar. So let's say const default open is equals to cookie store dot get. I'm gonna set the state name, which is going to be the sidebar state. We need to access its value. The sidebar state dot value. If that value is equals to true, okay, it needs to be true. So this needs to be an asynchronous. Then here I need to assign the default open. Save it. You will not get that issue anymore. Then I need to make the parent container parent flux container. This is the place where we are going to create the parent flux container. So let's say flux. Then height needs to be maximum screen height. Then width needs to be full. Then inside here I need to bring the sidebar. Then I need to bring the main content, which means the right hand side area. So that is going to be dot flex, then flex column. Then flex needs to grow as much as possible. Flex grow. Then height, of course, it needs to be full, right? Then save these changes. Inside here only, we need to bring that sidebar trigger, which is coming from add components UI sidebar itself, right? Then here I need to bring the content area. This is going to be your content area. Right after here, I'm going to bring the main class, which is going to have the class name as flex column, then flex grow, then padding, of course it's going to be for height, of course it's going to be full height. Then inside here I need to bring that children. save it, and you should be able to see the sidebar action buttons, and you should be able to see that. But currently we don't have that sidebar, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself an app sidebar component, which we don't have yet. So I'm going to create myself the app sidebar. Inside the components folder, I'm just going to say app sidebar.tsx, right? If you check it out over here, you might have an basic app sidebar structure. So I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to paste it over here, right? So instead of, I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm just going to say RAFC app sidebar. Then I'm going to replace it with this, save it, and let me import it over here from add component sidebar. So you should be able to see the basic app sidebar layout. You can see that, right? See, the basic app sidebar layout is completely ready, right? So here we just have the frame, the basic app layout, right? So we need to customize this completely just by bringing some interactive menu options, because you might wonder, so we need to have some, what's it, we need to have some groups and sub menus and all those things, right? So we need to customize this app sidebar close enough, right? For the time being, we are just going to use any of the dummy data, but in a real-time application you might have the list of menus like user section separately, product section separately, category section separately, just like the way it is, right? So let's go ahead and start building all those actions. So currently we just have the app sidebar layout. Now we need to go and start customizing this layout structure one after another. Let's go ahead and do that now.